What's going on, everybody? Mortem here, this time bringing you a look at the Paladin class in the upcoming Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, which is currently in beta. I don't think too many people need much of an explanation about what a Paladin is, but essentially they are warriors of a god, typically, often good aligned, and they go around smiting evil and promoting justice. Let's get into what the Paladin actually looks like. Now, first things first, the Paladin have a lawful good alignment requirement. Now, this is more important than most classes because in addition to this requirement to pick the class up, it's also an alignment restricted class. So what is the difference there, right? Well, basically, most classes that require an alignment, if you then stray from that alignment afterwards, you won't lose the powers, you just won't be able to take any more levels in that class. However, alignment restricted classes will not only not let you take levels in that class, but will straight up take the powers of the class away from you. So, with Paladins, it is very important that you maintain your lawful good alignment. Now, naturally, being devoted to a deity, they cannot be atheists or a Rahudum faithless. Now, they are divine casters. They use their charisma stat as their casting stat. However, I will say, you're never going to get a lot of spells or a lot of spell slots for their divine casting ability. They do have to prepare their spells, but again, they do not get a lot of them. Now, for base class skills for the base class, we pick up Knowledge World, Lore Nature, Persuasion, Knowledge Arcana, Lore Religion. And for our proficiencies, we will be proficient with all simple and martial weapons, all types of armor, and shields except tower shields. Now, as we are a class that is devoted to a deity, we do naturally have to pick a deity to worship. However, there are only 7 available to the Paladin class, most of them being conceptually good. Now, you could argue some of them aren't necessarily good gods. For instance, Abadar isn't like a lawfully good character per se himself. But keep in mind that broadly speaking, the paladins that gods worship are, at the very least, not evil, I guess would be the best way to put it. But they aren't necessarily the lawful good alignment that the paladin is. Now, at level 1, we are going to pick up Smite Evil. Once per day, a paladin can call out to the powers of good to aid them in their struggle against evil. As a swift action, you can choose a target to smite. If this target is evil, the paladin will add their charisma bonus to the attack rolls. You will add your Paladin level to all damage rolls made against the target of your smite. Smite Evil attacks automatically bypass any DR the creature might possess. Moreover, while it is active, the Paladin will gain a deflection bonus equal to your Charisma modifier, if you have any, to your armor class against attacks made by the target of the smite. However, if you target a creature that is not evil, smite is wasted and it won't work. It lasts until the target dies or you select a new target. At 4th level and every 3 levels after that, you can use Smite Evil 1 additional time per day. Now at level 2, we pick up Divine Grace. This will add a bonus equal to your Charisma modifier to all of your saving throws. At 3rd level, we pick up Divine Health, making us immune to all diseases, including supernatural and magical diseases, as well as mummy rot. Now at 2nd level, we also actually pick up Lay on Hands. So a paladin will be able to heal their wounds or the wounds of others by touch. Each day, you can use this ability a number of times equal to half your Paladin level plus your Charisma modifier. With one use of this ability, you can heal 1d6 points of damage for every 2 Paladin levels you possess. Using this is normally a standard action, unless you target yourself, which makes it a swift action. This can be used to deal damage to undead creatures, however you do have to make a successful melee touch attack. It doesn't provoke an attack of opportunity, and undead do not receive a saving throw against the damage. Now at level 3, they also pick up Aura of Courage, making the Paladin immune to fear, as well as giving allies within 10 feet a +4 morale bonus on saving throws against fear. However, all auras for your Paladin will only function if they are conscious. At 4th level, we pick up Channel Energy. This works the same as all the other channel energies in the game. You channel energy in a 30-foot radius. This is positive energy, so it will heal the living and damage the undead. At 8th level, we pick up Aura of Resolve, making us immune to charm spells and spell-like abilities. Each ally within 10 feet gains a +4 morale bonus on charm effects. At level 11, we pick up Mark of Justice. So if you use 2 uses of your Smite Evil ability, you can grant the Smite Evil ability to all allies for 1 minute using the Paladin's bonuses. So as a swift action, you'll choose one target within sight to smite. Now, interestingly enough, this does also apply to the deflection bonus granted from the Paladin's Charisma bonus as well against the target of the smite. So even the defensive part of this also takes effect. At 14th level, they pick up Aura of Faith, which makes a Paladin's weapons treated as good aligned for the purposes of overcoming damage reduction. Any attack made against an enemy within 10 feet will be treated as a good aligned attack for the purposes of damage reduction. Now, the Aura part of this is that any attack made against any enemy within 10 feet of the Paladin will be treated as good aligned as well. Then at 17th level, we pick up Aura of Righteousness. This will give our Paladin a DR5 against evil, immunity to compulsion spells and spell-like abilities, as well as giving allies within 10 feet a +4 morale bonus on saving throws against compulsion effects. Then at 20th level, Paladins become Holy Champions, which makes them a conduit for the powers of their god. Their DR increases to 10 against evil, and whenever you channel positive energy or use Lay on Hands, it will always heal the maximum amount. Now, starting at 3rd level and every 3 levels after that, we will start picking up Mercies. Now, these are extra effects that add to your Lay on Hands that will essentially let it cure other conditions and similar things, as well as do the healing ability of the Lay on Hands. So this will let you cure things like sickened, fatigued, all that jazz. It just adds it into the Lay on Hands. So every few levels, you'll get to pick a Mercy, and in addition to healing, your Lay on Hands will also perform the Mercies as well, curing extra things. Now at level 5, Paladins will get to form a Divine Bond. Now this can be with their weapon or an animal companion. Now the weapon will let them, as a standard action, call upon the aid of a celestial spirit for 1 minute per Paladin level. At 5th level, this grants a +1 enhancement bonus, and then every 3 levels beyond 5th level, it gets another +1 to that bonus, up to a maximum of +6 at 20th level. These can be added to existing bonuses, but will only stack up to a maximum of +5, which might make you wonder about how it's possible to give something a +6. That is simply because you can use weapon properties to make up the difference, but the maximum weapon enhancement itself is only up to +5. And then you'll be able to add weapon properties with anything extra. Now, the other part of that, the animal companion bond, is just that. You get to pick an animal companion. It will be able to perform as a mount as well if you want, as long as you meet the size requirements and everything, but basically it just gives you an animal companion if you don't want the weapon. Now, that is it for the base class, which brings us to the archetypes. Now, the first up is Divine Guardian. Honestly, kinda boring, so they lose their divine spellcasting altogether. However, they pick up Divine Troth and some bonus feats. Now, Divine Troth is super vague, but I know what it's supposed to do. Basically, the Divine Guardian will pledge their protection to a willing creature for the day. Now, what this is supposed to do is basically allow certain abilities to be adjusted based on the Divine Troth against that target, right? So this will let you heal enemies faster with certain abilities, like that kind of stuff. That's what it's supposed to do. In game, it's very vague about what it affects, as you can see here, but that's the gist of it. Now, starting at 7th level, we also pick up Divine Guardian bonus feats. This will let you pick up extra feats from the list on screen here. Ultimately, you'll get to choose 3 of them. Now that brings us to Divine Hunter, which gets some interesting changes. This is essentially a ranged paladin class. First up, the proficiencies will change slightly. We will no longer be proficient with heavy armor, but we will still retain everything else. We also pick up Precise Shot as a feat at level 1, which allows us to attack enemies engaged in melee combat without taking the standard -4 penalty to the attack roll. At 3, they pick up Shared Precision. When a Divine Hunter hits a creature with a ranged attack, you will grant allies within 10 feet of the Paladin the benefit of the Precise Shot feat against that target for 1 round. Now at 6th level, they pick up Distant Mercy, which is very interesting. So essentially, this will let you use 2 of your Lay on Hands uses, but will let you use it as ranged instead. It works basically the same. At 5 feet per Paladin level, you can use your Lay on Hands at a range instead of actually having to be there. And then at 11th level, we pick up Hunter's Blessing. The Divine Hunter will be able to expend a use of Smite Evil as a swift action to grant the Paladin and their allies within 10 feet Deadly Aim, Precise Shot, and Improved Precise Shot, even if they lack the prerequisites to use those feats. This will last for 1 minute, and evil creatures cannot benefit from this. In addition to that, our auras do change a bit, but we pick up Aura of Clearsight, which will make our Paladin immune to blindness, magical or otherwise, as well as giving allies within 10 feet a +4 morale bonus on saving throws against blindness. Now that brings us to the Hospitaller. So this is basically the same class, but you get slightly less smite evils in exchange for Aura of Life, which will make you immune to death effects, as well as granting the standard +4 morale bonus to saving throws for allies within 10 feet against those effects. And that's pretty much it for the Hospitaller, which brings us to Martyr. Martyr is probably the most significant change from the base class because we lose our Smite Evil ability altogether and it gets replaced with Stigmata. Stigmata is basically a bard's performances. However, unlike a bardic performances, you will take 1 point of bleed damage while this is active. I believe it's every turn. Now, much like bardic performances, as you level up, the cost of the action will actually start becoming less. So at 7th level, it becomes a move action. At 13th, it becomes a swift action. And then this will be used in place of Inspire Courage. And then at 10th level, you'll pick up Inspire Greatness. At 16th, you'll pick up Inspire Heroics, things like that. So basically, it just gives you some bardic performances as a paladin. Now, in addition to this, at 2nd level, we pick up See No Evil, Hear No Evil. This will make you and all of your allies within 20 feet grant a +4 morale bonus on saving throws against sonic effects and gaze attacks. And then at 3rd level, we pick up several auras. Now this will give us bonuses against diseases and things like that. But the main thing to understand here is that we also pick up Martyr's Mercy, which essentially means that the Martyr will be able to apply any of the mercies for which they are qualified for their lay on hands, even if you didn't select it. However, when you use a mercy you didn't select, you will lose your Aura of Health or See No Evil, Hear No Evil for 1 round. And as long as the Martyr's Aura is disabled, you can't apply corresponding mercies. We also pick up Aura Mastery at that level, which will give all of our auras a 20-foot radius instead of 10. However, you, your Paladin, will lose the immunities that come with them for the Paladin. So that's pretty much it for the Martyr. Kind of makes your Paladin a weird bard class. And then lastly, that brings us to the Warrior of the Holy Light. Now, I can't show you everything for this because a lot of the bonus feats you get are just blank text right now. The crux of this class as a whole is that you trade your spellcasting ability, which admittedly isn't that great to begin with, for instead Power of Faith. Power of Faith lets you use a use of your Lay on Hands ability to call upon your faith as a standard action, which will cause a nimbus of light to emanate from your paladin in a 30-foot radius. All allies in this area, including you, will receive a +1 morale bonus to AC on attack rolls, damage rolls, saving throws against fear, so long as they remain in the light. Now, as you level up, this will take on extra effects. So at 8th level, this will heal you, curing you 1d4 points of ability damage per the spell Lesser Restoration, but can only be healed this way once per day. At 12th level, they gain resistance to fire, acid, cold, electricity, and sonic equal to 30. At 16th, this actually gives you protection from critical hits, giving you a 25% chance to just flat out negate critical hits and just make them normal attacks. And then at 20th level, this increases the range to 50 feet, as well as doubling all the bonuses from previous levels. The morale bonus becomes +2, the ability damage healed becomes 2d4, the critical hit protection increases to 50%, so quite a bit going on there. Now again, unfortunately I don't know everything about the Warrior of the Holy Light because it doesn't tell you because of the blank text, but largely that's the gist of it. So there you go guys, there is a look at the Paladin as well as its archetypes in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Interesting class, so naturally it's a classic as far as RPGs go, just in general. Personally, I'm not wild about it, but they tend to be very good at what they do, and Smite Evil in a campaign against demons like Wrath of the Righteous is going to be fairly useful. With that out of the way, guys, truly, thank you guys just so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you would give the video a like, comment, subscribe to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, I would certainly appreciate it. But regardless of any of that, again, just thank you for watching. May you wander in wisdom and have an amazing day.